The edge joining foot may end up becoming as much of a favorite for you as it is for me once you see this foot in action and what you can do. Let's look at this anatomy of this foot. It has a piece of metal here that's black, so it contrasts nicely against the metal of the foot, and there's a flange that comes down at the bottom, and what this does is it gives you the ability to join two pieces of fabric together using a stitch that looks kind of fancy. And so you can think about maybe constructing blocks together if you like, if you're a quilt as you go piecer, or you can actually make some good use of scraps of batting. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go on over to the machine and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's slide the foot in place. And now what I'm going to do is take two pieces of fabric. Now I've already turned under the seam allowance on both of them because I really want to have a finished edge, because this is not so much to overcast it as it is to join them together. And when I lower my presser foot, I have one piece of fabric to the right, one to the left. I want to make sure that I've got the fabric underneath the needle so that I begin stitching on the fabric. And now I've selected a stitch that's going to have some movement. It's going to stitch both on the right and on the left side of my fabric, therefore just kind of like spanning the distance between the two. Now as I'm stitching, it's very simple. I'm just riding this flange down between the two fabrics and just kind of holding them together, making sure that they aren't overlapping. Now I love how simple this is. It holds them together, and it really does a nice job with the decorative stitch. This would be a good place to use some thicker, more decorative threads. And also, if you want to have the bite be a little bit wider, you can always adjust your stitch width on your machine very simply. Now, one of the other things that makes this foot kind of versatile, I'm just going to go back to my regular center needle straight stitch. What you can see is that very simply, if I wanted to, you can also use this foot as a registration for doing some stitching. I'm going to actually choose a left needle straight stitch and watch how by using that flange on the foot, I can guide my fabric to get some beautiful top stitching. So this foot will allow you to have fabric on both sides, but the other benefit too is that it does give you the ability to space some stitching very easily on one side or the other of the foot. Now for my bonus, I think that one of the things that frustrates me the most as a quilter is that a lot of times I'll end up with small pieces of batting that I really can't do anything with. But I'm going to go back to that stitch that I had earlier, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stitch that stitch again, because now if you have batting that you're not getting good use out of, merge them together so that your next project you've already got the right size of batting. Now what I love about this technique is that I can't feel any extra thickness here, which you don't want to feel when you're quilting. Again, once you've quilted through it, this batting's not going to move, but this is a wonderful way to be able to take advantage of a lot of scraps that you have. And after all, being efficient in your sewing room is one of the best parts about being your own creator. So whether you're joining fabrics together, are using the edge stitching foot to be able to do top stitching, this is one versatile foot you want to make sure is in your sewing room. And to find it, just check out your local Baby Lock retailer.